Hey guys, it's me, Martin, aka Little Karibo, here with another episode of Little Karibo Watches GX. And you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, Martin, it's been a hot second since you posted one of these. How's life at Duel Academy treating you? And about that, yeah, it seems that when someone like Jaden sleeps through most of their classes, it's totally fine, water under the bridge. But if someone like me skips all of their classes, they take it very seriously here. And I guess I've managed to miss just about all of them. So yeah, I've been unceremoniously booted out of Duel Academy. I asked them if they'd let me make my own special dorm, Karibo Brown, just for people who really like the whole chilling out with the crew in the schoolyard vibe, but don't actually want to learn anything. But they said no. So for now, I won't be able to broadcast to you live from Duel Academy. In fact, I'm gonna have to take some time to move back home, preferably to a place where there aren't any live volcanoes next door. And in the meantime, I'm going to need someone to take over hosting duties for me. So I thought, who better to teach you about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX than someone who doesn't need to go to Duel Academy, someone who already knows the ins and outs of the card games, somebody who could teach all of these lessons here in their sleep because they're that good at it. Someone with a much nicer voice to listen to and face to look at than this. So I pulled in some favors, and the new host of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Recaps is gonna be none other than Yami Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Himself, his Yugi-ness. Hi there, Yugi, how's it going?
Sorry, do I know you?
Oh, well, I'm Little Karibo. I'm from the internet. I made a Yu-Gi-Oh! Parody on YouTube back in the day, and
Oh, that thing from what, 2006?
Yeah, it's been the better part of a decade and a half, which is really strange to think about. I try not to think about it.
Look, man, I'm 5,000 years old, and even I know you are pushing it.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Yami Yugi here is going to be guiding you through the deep and evolving world of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Mostly I'm doing this because it's easier for me to have a handsome cartoon avatar host this video, rather than have me stand in front of a green screen for hours, nattering to myself. With my health problems, it's become much harder lately to do anything for an extended period in front of a camera with lights on me and everything. I hope you like this. I understand if it's a bit disappointing, and I'm sorry if it is. I'm looking forward to doing it because I think it'll add a new twist to the GX reviews and it might make things a lot more fun.
Wait, I know you. Aren't you the guy who ruined the Yu-Gi-Oh! Fandom?
Well, that's more of a meme than an actual thing that happened.
Look, Buster, you mess with Yu-Gi-Oh! And you mess with me. Penalty game.
Wait.
Ah, got him. You won't be making fun of the flawless and completely critic-proof anime Yu-Gi-Oh! Anymore. Not from the Shadow Realm. Okay, now that he's gone, allow me to introduce myself. Hello there. My name is Yami Yugi, despite what any Wikipedia article might have you believe. They're lying. I'm here to regale you with stories about Jaden Yuki, that young, plucky protagonist that everybody loves. Now, I know what you're thinking, and not just because I have Egyptian magical powers. That's pure intuition, baby. You're thinking, hey, Yami, why are you the one telling me the story of Jaden Yuki? You didn't experience any of that. And plus, you're just gonna be dunking on the guy for like half an hour, aren't you? And I understand your concerns, but rest assured, I am not here to lay into Jaden Yuki. I'm not just gonna be standing here watching episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX saying, hey Jaden, you suck. Hey Jaden, why do you suck so much? That's not my goal here at all. I am merely here to be the very handsome lens through which Little Karibo's opinions about Yu-Gi-Oh! GX will be filtered. In a very handsome filter, yes. Yes, I'm going to be a very neutral party within this. All I am here to do is deliver unto you Little Karibo's opinions and thoughts as to the narrative of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. And speaking of narrative, let's find out how Jaden and company got to where they're at in the current episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Take it away, Chumley, my man.
Last time on Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Yes, in the grand tradition of wise storyteller characters in fiction that bring the listener up to speed, we have Bilbo Baggins from The Lord of the Rings, Ishmael from Moby Dick, and now, Chumley from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Yes, in the previous episode, you'll remember that Crowler dueled Camula, that good-looking vampire gal, and he professed that he wasn't intimidated by her.
Then you may duel me, Camula, vampire mistress of the Shadow Riders.
Your tricks don't scare me.
Goth chicks don't scare me either, Crowler. Quite the opposite, actually. I'm quite compelled by them. Dr. Crowler put up a good fight, but unfortunately, it was no match for Camula's bat-related attitude. Or as I like to call it, batitude. Batitude. Anyways, Crowler is a Funko Pop now, and Camula has retreated to Castle Duckula with Igor and Nanny. In the heart of Transylvania, in the Vampire Hall of Fame, there's not a vampire curvier than Camula. And then we get that banger of a tune, the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX opening theme, in D minor. D minor, of course, being the same grade that Duel Academy gave Jaden Yuki. And I have to say, Bubbleman's crotch in the opening sequence is still very intimidating to me. His front bubble lives in my nightmares. Jaden is still recovering in the school nurse's office, but he has big plans for Camula once he gets better.
Camula's gonna get it sooner or later.
Whoa, really? Yeah, I mean, I don't blame ya, but okay. Professor Banner warns them all that if they don't rest up, they'll be walking straight into Camula's clutches. And she's got a nice set of clutches. And with their souls in her possession, their bodies will be catatonic. This angers Pharaoh the Cat. That's a very good name for a cat. For he has heard one 4Kids pun too many. So he crawls under the bed to hide from them. Prah! I've heard of a vampire bat, but I ain't never heard of a vampire cat. I don't even like garlic, though I do like to garlic myself. Brah. I'm a cat. What do you think of my impression of Little Karibo's impression of me as a cat? Pretty good, huh? Meow, if I do say so myself. Bastion points out that Camula only needs 6 more keys to unlock the sacred beasts. And Alexis surmises that then it won't just be their souls on the line, but everyone's souls in the entire world. In fact, she has a handy list of souls that will be affected.
Normal souls, fusion souls, ritual souls, effect souls, trap souls.
A whole lot of souls. Jaden declares that he's definitely going to take down Camula himself if he has to, and the others insist that Jaden gets some rest, causing Tuck to Chaz Jaden into bed. Jaden wrestles with the bed sheets, a sentence I never thought I'd hear myself saying, but here I am, saying it. Jaden is able to overcome the bed sheets.
I won.
You know, I'm all for putting Jaden in his place, but let's give credit where credit is due. After all, I might be the undisputed king of games, but I cannot dispute the fact that Jaden is now king of duvets. Some very strange imagery happens.
Come on, Jaden, you can do it.
Can he? Chaz says with Jaden out of the picture, one of the lesser protagonists will have to take on Camula, and Bastion has his doubts that Chaz is the man for the job. Hey now, Bastion, I'll have you know that Chaz is descended from a long line of vampire hunters. Haven't you ever heard of Chaz Helsing? Or Chazbraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter? Or Chazzy the Vampire Slayer? Or how about the Chaz trilogy of movies starring Wesley Snipes? Some motherfuckers are always trying to Chaz it uphill. While continuing his masturbation ritual in the background, Jaden does his impression of someone trying to follow the plot threads of a Yu-Gi-Oh! Show.
Almost got it. Man, what thread count is this?
Shut it.
Sure.
Alexis says that working together to protect their keys and get Crowler's soul back is all that matters. While behind her, we see a graph of all the times Cyrus has tried breaking into the girls' dorm this month. He's a feisty boy. Jaden reluctantly concedes defeat.
All right. I'll sit out. Till I get better.
Oh, we're gonna be waiting a while for you to get better, Jaden. Like a few seasons, I imagine. Zane has had quite enough of these emotions and feelings, so he sets off by himself, only to realize he is being followed closely by a tiny Cyrus Truesdale.
Wait up. Hey.
Pick me up and put me on your shoulder, Zane. Cyrus points out that they all decided to work together, but Zane is determined to go face Camula by himself. You see, he clearly just wants to be turned into a vampire so that he has an actual excuse to spend all his time standing next to that lighthouse at night and doing literally nothing else. Also, Bat. Camula is taking a bath. I said bath. Camula croons that the one she craves is coming. Look, I know vampires are famously thirsty creatures, but maybe pull it back a touch. We then cut to Chaz's dorm room, where Chaz is immediately harassed by the guy who puts the ass in mascot, and in Chaz's face apparently, Ojama Yellow.
How's things?
And that's how Persona 4 started. Ojama Yellow notices that Chaz is going through his deck, no doubt making sure that every card in there is a magical mallet, and then he learns that the possessed Crowler doll in Chaz's possession is alive and aware of its surroundings. So of course, upon realizing that he has a captive audience, Ojama Yellow begins pestering the only person aware of his existence that cannot fight back.
No, stop it! Stop!
This had better not awaken anything in me. Weirdly, Chaz is also able to hear Crowler's voice coming from the doll, making Chaz a prime candidate for appearing in the next Annabelle sequel, entitled Annabelle Gets Chazzed Up. Chaz looks outside his window and sees a flock of bats hanging overhead. You know, Duel Academy's gonna have a real guano problem if they don't defeat Camula soon. Imagine trying to chill out with the crew in the schoolyard, only for there to suddenly be a deluge of bat poop. Back at class, they never taught us this. Professor Banner comforts Pharaoh the cat as the bats swarm in the sky. If it wasn't bad enough that there are bats, Camula took all the milk on the island and put it in her bathtub. Now my saucer is empty. Empty, I say! Sad meow. Bastian rushes outside, likely very bothered that the sound of vampire bats is ruining his concentration and has caused him to define X rather than Y in one of his formulas. That poor sod. We then cut to Jaden, who is giving solid advice to anyone who is considering interacting with him.
Run!
No, it turns out that Chumley is actually carrying Jaden on his back, and they're going to set out to face Camula. Because if anything is going to intimidate a powerful vampire queen, it is the sight of Chumley carrying Jaden on his back. Just charging at him. I, for one, would my vampire self. Can vampires do that? Well, they will when Chumley's coming at them. We see the plucky group of heroes and also Bastian walking down the red carpet into the bowels of Camula's vampiric fortress. And as we pass into the dark shroud of evil that settles in every corner of this seething settlement that pervades this morbid sanctuary, we get to hear Chumley's commentary the entire time. Yay!
Can't I just drag Jaden instead of carrying him?
Look, there's only room for one person who's gonna drag Jaden in this video, and that's me, baby! Zane leads the collective card game companions into a grand chamber with twin balconies hanging overhead, and Camula appears on one of the balconies looking fine as hell. Emphasis on the hell. I'd like to bram her, Stoker. Camula says she has no interest in little schoolboys, and Chaz and Bastian begin arguing as to which one of them she is humiliating. Ooh, humiliate me! Ooh, humiliate me, please! I'm a little schoolboy! No, me! I haven't seen this much squabbling over a vampire lady outside of the YouTube comments for the Resident Evil Village trailer. Camula fixes her attentions on Zane, and he accepts her challenge, knowing full well that he has spent years successfully ignoring the advances of women that wish to devour him. So he's trained for this moment. Camula and Zane face off on either balcony, and Camula restates that if Zane wins, they get Crowler's soul back, and she will go away. But if she wins, she gets Zane's key, his soul, and she will continue her quest to unleash the sacred beasts. Oof, this is gonna backfire big time when Camula realizes Zane sold his soul like 10 years ago at a My Chemical Romance concert. Also, is the only upside that Crowler might come back if Zane wins. Nope, gotta root for the hot vampire lady. Sorry. Camula activates her duel disc that looks like a rejected prop from a Tim Burton Batman movie and says,
I like to lead.
Have you ever dueled with the devil in the pale moonlight? I actually have done that, you know. Beat the devil in a best of 5 series. He runs this archfiend deck that really didn't stand a chance against my dark magician. Not today, Satan, I said as I activated my Kuribo. This is an actual thing that happened to me. I have defeated Satan in a card game. Camula summons Vampire Lady in defense position, and sadly her animation doesn't show her getting inside a coffin for protection. Wouldn't that have been cute though? Speaking of things made of wood, Zane's delivery on this line as he activates the spell card Power Bond.
Because it won't be enough to protect you from what I have planned.
Zane uses Power Bond to fusion summon Cyber End Dragon right off the bat. No, not like that. Cyrus is confused because Zane doesn't usually summon Cyber End Dragon on his first turn, but it is all explained by Zane's deep and insightful commentary. Would anyone even notice if this guy was turned into a soulless vessel? He's not exactly cheerful McHappy Pants. Seriously, it wouldn't surprise me if Zane lost his soul here and we just continued the rest of the series with him standing around silently with nary an emotion displayed, and we were none the wiser. Right? Camula asks Zane if he's thought this through, as Power Bond is quite the risky play, and Chumley agrees with the undead bloodsucker.
At the turn's end, he'll take damage equal to Cyber's original attack points. And that adds up to 4,000 big ones.
Big ones? Look, I didn't sacrifice my immortal soul in ancient Egypt so that you could go around calling life points big ones, Chumley. If this were a shadow game and your life was literally being taken away with every point of damage dealt, would you cry out, "Oh no, my big ones"? I don't think so. Respect the game, Chumley. Then Chumley remarks that it might be a risk worth taking, as now Cyber End Dragon's attack points are doubled. That's like 8,000 big ones. Camula tells everyone how much she gives me out of 10.
8,000 points?
That's a very low estimate, but thank you. Zane uses this play to attack a defense position monster when there's a trap on the field. Because smoldering good looks don't stop him from being a proper dumbass, apparently. Camula activates her trap card, Red Ghost Moon. Wasn't the Red Ghost called Blinky? By sacrificing one zombie monster to her graveyard, Camula is able to add the sum of Cyber End Dragon's attack to her life points. That's at least 12,000 big ones. Camula's hopes are crushed, however, as Zane activates Defusion, causing Cyber End Dragon to separate into the fusion materials that created it, causing the big ones to become not so big after all. Speaking of big ones, Camula describes her best feature.
My points!
Yes. Now Zane ends his turn with an advantage, having 3 cyber dragons on his side of the field versus Camula's 1 defense position monster. Camula eagerly awaits what might come next in this card game.
And I expect to have a lot more fun with you.
Oh man, I don't think I'm gonna like her kind of fun.
That's because you're a fucking idiot, Cyrus. You don't know what you like. I, for one, would gladly trade places with Zane. As would so many of you, I'm sure. Don't deny it. I have magical powers. I can tell when you lie about what you're into.
Camula summons Vampire Genesis, who looks for all the world like Zork from season 5 of my show if he traded in his dragon penis for a very fetching cape.
That is man-spreading personified. There's man-spreading, and then there's demon-spreading.
I promised you some fun, didn't I? And now we'll have it. Are you excited?
I think the last time Zane was excited for something was when someone told him there was a 2-for-1 sale on Simple Plan t-shirts at the Hot Topics. The topics that are hot. Camula is infuriated that Zane doesn't seem remotely tantalized by her offer.
You're such a bore. Well, maybe this will rouse you.
I, for one, am very roused. If you're browsing for arousing, then I'll provide the housing. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but it's damn sexy. Zane's having none of it.
As fun as this is, I'm afraid that I'm going to have to interrupt it with my face down card.
Yes. Look how much fun I'm having. So much fun. I'm a veritable theme park of amusement. I'm Zane.
Zane activates the trap card Attack Reflector Unit, which he proclaims will evolve his Cyber End Dragon into the Cyber Barrier Dragon.
Oh no, it's kind of shit, though it does allow him to negate an attack once per turn.
Vampire Genesis's crotch is furious, and so is Camula.
Furious, I mean. I don't know how her crotch feels about the whole incident. Jaden is impressed.
Your bro's got game. No wonder he beat me, though it was close.
Well, as the saying goes, close only counts with horseshoes and hand grenades. Which are incidentally 2 things that I would love to throw at Jaden Yuki.
Next, Zane activates the spell card Photon Generator Unit.
Lot of absolute units in this guy's deck, man.
This card lets him sacrifice his Cyber Dragons to summon Cyber Laser Dragon.
Sounds like someone got rather Cyber Lazy Dragon when naming this one. What exactly differentiates Cyber Laser Dragon from a Cyber Dragon that shoots lasers? Well, you see, this one shoots lasers. Oh, I see. Good to know. The Zane explains the laser dragon's effect. Little My Fair Lady there for you.
I can destroy one monster that has equal or more attack or defense points than Laser Dragon's attack points.
I bet you talk to all the girls like that.
Hey, you'd be surprised at how effective explaining Cyber Laser Dragon's effect is at getting into someone's pants. It's basically a guarantee in the Yu-Gi-Oh world. It's basically the Cyber Laser Dragon. Lades. Hey, baby. Did you know that Cyber Laser Dragon's effect allows it to destroy another monster whose attack or defense are equal or greater than Cyber Laser Dragon's attack points? Once per turn? Yeah. See, you're basically putty in my hands right now, am I right? Laser Dragon's effect takes care of Vampire Genesis, which is my favorite part of the Vampire Bible. And then Zane attacks directly, lowering Camula's big ones to 800. Chumley recognizes a turn well played.
That's exactly the move I would have made.
Sure, Chum. Totally. In your dreams.
Jaden there, making sure to neg his friends into believing they could never surpass him. If it weren't for Jaden's sarcasm, Chumley would be a top-ranked duelist by now. Instead, he's... Chumley. Camula's turn begins, and she's undergone some changes.
You do realize you're forcing me to reveal my ugly side. You see?
That is the reaction of a man who is very into that and is very upset about it. Like I said, magical powers. Camula isn't just speaking in tongues, she's now speaking through tongues. And she activates the spell card Illusion Gate. It's not a trick gate, Michael. It's an illusion gate. Caw-caw-caw, caw-caw-caw. First off, Illusion Gate destroys all monsters on the opponent's side of the field. But that's not all, says Camula.
But that's not all. It has twin functions.
Oh, well, this is, definitely going to awaken something in me. Yep. Camula and her sultry doppelganger, I'd like to doppel her ganger, explain that another effect of Illusion Gate allows her to summon any monster that has been used during the course of this duel, and her eyes are set on Zane's Cyber End Dragon. Zane is baffled, saying there's no way a card with an effect that powerful exists. Monster Reborn says, "Hi, Zane." And I know a lot of you at home are saying, hey, Monster Reborn only has one effect, to which I remind you that having Monster Reborn in your hand means you win the game, according to this show. Camula explains that Illusion Gate's catch is that if she loses this duel, she will have to sacrifice a soul to the sacred beasts. Oh, so it's like the Seal of Orichalcos, except much less likely to result in severe psychological trauma. I still feel pretty bad about that whole momentarily becoming evil thing. Good thing there were no lasting effects. Cyrus and Chaz say it's what Camula deserves for taking Crowler's soul, but Camula explains,
I said a soul, not my soul. You see, in the shadows, it's all the same to the sacred beasts.
So, the sacred beasts like to do it with the swords of revealing lights off, is what you're saying. Camula suggests that the sacred beasts would find Cyrus's soul to be a tasty treat. This causes Zane to express an emotion. Batten down the hatches, guys. I don't know if we'll survive the oncoming wave of fangirl squealing that results from this once-in-a-lifetime event. The duplicate Camula swoops down and plucks Cyrus off the ground, taking him up to the balcony where Camula Prime resides. It's kind of like watching a nature documentary where they show footage of an owl snatching a mouse in its talons. Except you kind of want to f*** the owl. Hey, don't look at me, you're the one who wants to f*** an owl. Camula siphons Cyrus's energies in order to summon her own Cyber End Dragon. And we get this not at all suggestive reaction from Cyrus. I swear, Totally Spies has absolutely nothing on Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Someone give that guy a cigarette. Zane accidentally reads his emotional direction from the script out loud.
Sigh.
Camula mocks Zane, saying she now has his best monster and his little brother. Man, imagine if Kaiba faced this dilemma. My brother's soul has been put into a dragon, and if I win the duel, I keep the dragon but lose my brother? I fail to see the downside. Pretty good Kaiba impression, right? I may be an Egyptian pharaoh, but I still need validation from the internet. Zane looks at the field and realizes if he activates his Call of the Haunted, he could win the game. But in doing so, Cyrus's soul would be lost. He hasn't been this conflicted since Panic at the Disco and Fall Out Boy were performing on the same night, and he could only attend one concert. Cyrus implores his brother to let his soul be consumed by the Illusion Gate, intimating that it is a small price to pay to save the world.
If one of us has to go down, it might as well be me. Sure, I may have gotten the looks, but the truth is, you got just about everything else. The skills, the smarts.
The looks.
I mean, at least this way, I'll be remembered for something other than just being your little brother.
I don't even remember you for that. I remember you as small Yu-Gi-Oh! Character that is not Yugi.
I'll be the one who's the hero. the one who saves the day.
I mean, if you gotta save the world, having your soul ravished by a hot vampire chick is about as good a way to do it as any. Hey, did you hear? Cyrus saved the world! Oh, how did he do it? He got metaphorically sat on by an attractive vampire woman. Such a noble sacrifice. Very jealous. Zane finally gives Cyrus the credit he deserves.
You proved me wrong. You do belong here.
In Slifer Red, bunking with Chumley. Man, huge slam on Cyrus there, Zane. I mean, geez. It's not like he's about to die or anything. Zane says farewell with the lukewarm emotions one might expect to hear when dropping Cyrus off for his first day at school.
I'll miss you, little bro. Farewell.
Don't let the other kids bully you in Limbo or wherever it is you're going. Also very half-hearted T-posing from Zane there. More like an A pose from an A-hole. To everyone's shock, Zane surrenders to Camula, and Cyrus reacts the same way everybody did at Billy Zane's career choices following Titanic.
Zane! What are you doing?
Cyber End Dragon removes Zane's big ones, and his key falls to the ground. Camula's doppelganger disappears, freeing Cyrus, who cries out to Zane as all the character is drained from his brother's face. Yes, all those feelings that Zane once displayed, gone. He is no longer the vibrant, cheerful, emotionally healthy young man we once knew. Can you sense my sarcasm? Because I'm really laying it on thick for you. Camula cradles the soulless doll in her hands and smirks to herself as it magically begins to adopt Zane's appearance. And even as a doll, Zane's indifference toward the advances of women is palpable. Also, what's going on with Zane's weird, sort of sunken doll chin thing he's got going on? That's off-putting. Since Zane is now inside of a doll, Cyrus is the one to adopt the I just lost a card game pose by falling onto his hands and knees, as is tradition. Camula disappears in a puff of dank weed smoke, and the next time we see them, our heroes have been magically transported outside of the castle. Jaden falls to his hands and knees beside Cyrus, presumably because he lost the card game that is life, and makes a bold declaration.
No more, Camula! I'm through with you messing with my friends!
Yes, friends such as Chumley, who I just insulted when he claimed he was competent at card games. Friends such as Zane, who I don't really know and have mostly been ignored by. Friends like Dr. Crowler, who hated my ass until maybe a few hours ago. My closest friends, Camula. Jaden Yuki does his impression of the 4Kids team when considering dubbing Season 4.
It stops here, and I'm gonna be the one who stops it!
Even Dr. Crowler's soul doll has gotten fed up of waiting for Jaden to behave like an actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Protagonist.
I'm taking you on, and one way or another, I'm getting our friends' souls back! About time!
And then in one final denouement, Jaden forgets for a moment that he isn't the main character from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal.
Camula, here I come! So get set to get your game on!
And with that, the episode dramatically comes to a close. What did you think of the episode? I myself was a little disappointed that the card game only lasted about 4 or 5 turns. I could be imagining things, but it felt to me like the Crowler duel was significantly more of a contest. Not that it made the episode bad, I was just surprised that Zane got taken down so easily. You spent the last 20 episodes establishing that Zane is the best of the best, and then he kinda went out like a sucker. Not a huge fan of the whole I'll threaten your siblings so you have to willingly surrender the duel gimmick. Obviously it helps raise the stakes because their best duelist is now a lifeless husk, but it still came off kinda forced. As hypocritical as it is, I'm not really into duels where the game is playing out just fine, and then suddenly a magical thing happens that threatens to consume someone's soul if they win the game, so they have to lose the game. But I am a big fan of Camula, so I can't complain too much in this video where I complained for 30 minutes straight. Thanks for coming to my Millennium TED Talk. Next time, I assume we'll see Jaden go face to face with Camula, which means we'll either see a being of pure, unbridled darkness win a card game, or Camula will win. As always, a very big thank you to all of our Patreon pledgers. And there's their names going by at the bottom of the screen there. The best part of the screen, if you ask me. I may be the king of games, but you guys are the kings of this channel. You all keep us going, and I wouldn't be quite as handsome without all of you, and that would be a crying shame. Until next time, keep those big ones secure, and I'll see you same Pharaoh time, same Pharaoh channel. I wonder what happened to that Karibo guy.
So this is the Shadow Realm. That's weird, it looks exactly like the place that YouTube always sends me when they take my channel down. Oh hey, there's all the people that Yami mind crushed in the manga! Maybe they'll be friends with me.